Brenden Johns, wonderful goalkeeping coach here at Droylsden FC. You've got a varied career right across the globe of where you've done your football coaching.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how it all began? First place you went to goalkeeping coach, and who influenced you to get into that?
So yeah, I was originally a goalkeeper when I was younger. The nets got bigger and I didn't, so they stuck me on the left wing. Being a bit nippy and could put a ball in. Just played usual grassroots amateur, okay level, but I was never going to make it any higher than that. And then went to university, just doing usual stuff and not really enjoyed it. And then decided that I wanted to get into football coaching because my passion is football, knowing I wasn't going to make it as a player. Started coaching locally to me, got my FA level 1, FA level 2, and then within a couple of months ended up moving over to Mexico 10 years ago this year.
Wow. So who were you guiding in Mexico then? And
so yeah, I worked for a company over there where they just coached obviously kids over there, and worked in some amazing facilities in some very deprived areas of the country as well, to be fair. Funny enough, worked at the training facilities what the England team in 1986 trained at, which at the time I didn't realise, but then having watched the Bobby Moore documentary, More Than a Manager, recognised the images and was like, oh shit, like wow, that's been there, and I didn't realise. And yeah, just worked over there for a bit and then moved over to America. Coached over there, worked the Chicago Fire's Academy and the Houston Dynamo's Academy, and just worked all over different areas of America for a couple of years before coming back to the UK, really.
I imagine, though, going back to the Mexico side of things, coaching very disadvantaged children, do you feel that disadvantaged children give that little bit more?
Yeah, they do. Like I say, it was a mix. There was some areas where I was working with disadvantage and some areas that were very privileged.
Yeah.
But it puts you in a different perspective in life and realising that how privileged we are in the UK. And then also working over there and understanding what it's like to actually be a foreigner in another country, not knowing the language at the time, learning it whilst you're there, being able to obviously travel the country and speak to other people and just meet other coaches as well whilst working abroad. It was an amazing atmosphere, amazing place to work. Being able obviously to see some of the biggest clubs in Central America as well, with Club America and Pumas and Cruz Azul and all the other ones that they have in Mexico. You don't realise how big football actually is until you go live
to these
somewhere
places.
else.
Yeah. I mean, then you say you went to America. So who were you coaching over there?
So yeah, I worked for the Houston Dynamo and the Chicago Fire in their academy setups for a little bit. Also worked in Connecticut for a period of time. Worked in the New England region, and then obviously in Pittsburgh as well. And again, it was just all different clubs and stuff like that. But the main two stands out were the academy setups at the Houston and Chicago.
Yeah. You say you went to Canada at some point. I mean, I spent 6 months in Vancouver. I lived over there
that's where I was.
Was it?
So yeah,
would have been when I was there because I'm a lot older than you.
No. So I was there for a little bit. Coached a little bit over there as well. Again, it was just more a bit of an experience working in like the summer camps and stuff there. And again, beautiful country.
I agree with that.
Amazing facilities as well that are there. And like I say, you don't realise how big football actually is until you've been to another country, and going over to the States and into Canada and Mexico was just the best thing to be. And I'm hopefully going back there next year for the World Cup. I
mean, for the youngsters, obviously, it's a global game. You've got the internet. But when yourself started, it wasn't like that. So you had to actually go and experience those countries rather than watching them. You were there.
Yeah.
And after Canada, where did your travels take you then?
So in Canada, then went back to the States, obviously all in that period of time. And then came back to the UK to get my UEFA B licence in the outfield. And also obviously focus on the goalkeeping as well. Being able to do both is really important, I think, as a coach. Was looking to go back to the States, but then COVID hit. So it derailed a few things for 2 years. But then being in the UK, stayed here, worked at Cheadle Town's under 23s set up, moved on to Denton Town for a little bit. That's where I met Coops. And then obviously from there went into my first non-league with Cheadle Nomads as part of the goalkeeping coach there, as the lead coach there for the goalkeepers. Again, really good environment, really good setup and stuff like that. Just to add this as well, thoughts obviously with Steve Stella from Cheetah Leaf Nomads, who unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. He was the secretary at Nomads. He was very welcoming when I was there. So something like that's happened recently. It's very close to my heart with that, because he was a very good man, and the club's a very good club at Cheadle. Moved on from there, went to Northwich Victoria, which is another big non-league club.
Yeah, massive.
Went there for a year working with the goalkeepers again, with the setup there for a little bit. And then moved on to a brief stint at Mosley before deciding to have a bit of a break, actually. But then all of a sudden it came up to come to Droylsden, and that's where it started.
So how did the conversation occur with that then? Was it Dave Pace maybe ringing you, or was it somebody else or something?
So it was actually Phil. It was Coops. Originally I was at Nomads. Obviously did a year there. Went to Northwich Vics. Enjoyed it. The travel became a bit of an issue at times. It was long hours travelling to different places for training, and then Mosley, it was close, so far, and it's another division above. Went there, didn't really work out. I think I had a few issues at the time, personally wise, that I think affected my performance as a coach there a lot, and it still bugs me to this day about that they didn't get the best of me there. And then we just agreed that it wasn't working. And I was going to have a bit of a break from coaching in non-league for a bit, and then obviously Droylsden said that they were coming back. A couple of weeks into it, Phil gave us a phone call and said, obviously I know you do the outfield and the goalkeeping. Would you be able to come and help us out a bit, doing a bit of goalkeeping training for pre-season, just as a bit of a help out to start off with? And because at the time I said, I'm not sure, I'm thinking of having a bit of a break. It's been a bit intense for the last 10 years of just working abroad and stuff like that. And he said, just come and help us out a bit. And as soon as I came in, I've loved it. The support that we've got from the fans, the support from the coaching staff, you respected in the group as players, with the coaches. Your opinion is valued as well. When it comes to the management staff, where we make decisions as a team, it's always debated what it is, but we all roughly think the same. The style of football that we play is exactly how I see football being played. I've been to clubs in the past where we want to try and play football, or I've coached at a grassroots level and stuff where you want to try and play that way, and you get a lot of people do a bit of pushback and say you can't play like that, and it's like, no, you can. You've just got to believe in it, and you've got to work at it. And as soon as I came here at Droylsden, that was the first thing I noticed straight away with Dave. You've got to play that way. There's no plan B if plan A is working.
Well, as you know, Dave's been here 30 years. Yeah. I mean, we had the break for COVID. But I mean, can see the passion. You've been everywhere, and a great example to young kids coming through. Just keep going, don't give up. Yeah. And if a certain place won't have you, try somewhere else. Yeah. And if worst case scenarios, you move abroad, if that's where the job takes you. Yeah. So here at Droylsden, how have you found the goalkeepers that you've been training? Is anybody that stands out for you?
It's been good. I mean, they all have different things. Obviously, we've had Morgan, we've had Hadlow, we've had Latham, we've got Ellis as well with us at the minute. They all have different aspects, and it's tough to try and navigate with them, because here at Droylsden we play a certain way. Yeah. So for some goalkeepers, it can be tough to get used to start off with, and then obviously being as a goalkeeping coach, you've got to try and implement that style of football with how Dave wants us to be and how we want to play out from the back and how we need our goalkeepers to use their feet. So obviously a lot of the work that we do is a lot with the feet, making sure that they're comfortable with the ball at the feet. And it takes some keepers longer than others to get used to. And obviously it takes time, and you've just got to have that faith. And that's what we got to keep reminding in training when we're doing things. If it doesn't go right, that's the point. It's to get it wrong in training, so then on a match day it works. Same for obviously the outfield stuff as well, but it's tough to say because they all have different attributes and they all have different things.
It's like anything, isn't it? You do make those mistakes. It's like children at school make the mistakes, and then your exams, you get them right. So if you get everything right all the time, then there's no point in you being here, is there? But exactly. The current new keeper, Ellis, I mean, how's he bedded in? He's not been here long. So
I've known Ellis for a little bit, in previous grassroots and obviously with non-league and stuff. He's been doing well. Like I say, it's good that we've got that competition for the place. In the past, obviously, we're only having one keeper. Obviously, if something happens, then obviously we've got to have an issue of trying to get somebody else in, like Jordan getting injured. Obviously, we was fortunate we could get Ellis in. And it's been good that we can now work on things a lot more rather than just doing one-to-one stuff. We've been able to work in a group and work on things a bit more game realistic. And again, it's been good to have him in. And it's obviously, it brings a good intensity and competition to the position for both of them.
So are you hoping to stay with Droylsden for quite a while, build up that way? I mean, today's the ground hop day, which is a massive day here at Droylsden, as it has been across the Northwest. Where do you think Droylsden may end up over the next couple of seasons? What's the priority?
Well,
for you guys?
We want to go up this year. We wanted to go up last year, obviously, with the circumstances that we started with 150 trialists to then get into the playoffs and things out of our own hands, costing us at times. But the ambition is get promotion, and then same again. For myself, I don't see myself leaving unless Dave kicks me out of the club. The only way I could see that is if I would like to go into coaching and managing a team myself, but it'd have to be something completely like tempting for me to go from coming from a club that's got a setup like this. It's got the facilities, the fans, the way we play football. It's got everything. So I can't see where else I could go at this time to become a manager that could do all this that Droylsden do. So I'm happy to stay here as long as Dave and Aon want me, really.
Well, like I say with Dave, I mean, 30 years, he's still got the passion. You see him on the sidelines. I mean, that must rub off on you guys as coaches and the players as well, to see that this owner, manager is still there, getting involved on that touchline, really giving it his all, as he did at Bay Cup last week, which we won't go into. But yeah, that must be really exciting to watch every game.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Like, obviously, Dave's been all the way up to the National League and been in FA Cup knockout third round, knockout stages and stuff like that. You see the standards that he has, and you look at that and then you think yourself and you go, I'm on the same mindset, because that's how I see things. And you go to other places or you coach at lower levels and stuff like that, and you have people look and go like, bloody hell, like, why are you so intense? Like, but it's like, well, I want to be the best. I want to be the best I can. I want the best of the club that I'm at that time. And you do question yourself at times, but when you look at Droylsden, you look at obviously with Dave there, you go, that's why I feel like that, because it is the right way. It is the right way to play. It is the right way of how to conduct yourself and have that passion. And you like, in 2 years, I've learned a lot from Dave and Aon about man management, about coaching, about tactics, about how the football is played and how to do things. And it reinforces a lot of things that I think anyway. But to have somebody that's been there for, like, say, 30 plus years and up to the highest part of non-league shows that, right, it is the right way to play.
I mean, it is a great club, and we appreciate what you do as a coach. We appreciate Dave as manager and all the other guys that are involved. Of course, your backroom staff, the bar staff, we all work as one big unit. And I think you've probably seen that. It's not just about the players. I think if everything behind the scenes works, then it obviously rubs off onto the field as well, which you probably agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone where I've been, you have everyone that works hard together and stuff, and it doesn't just go with Droylsden. It's the same in everyone in non-league, really, where people like that, if they're not here, them clubs don't exist. And fans it's the same with the fans, but it's the same with the staff. I mean, with the ground opera this week, we're expecting obviously a big crowd today, and everyone's mucking in to make sure that this goes to a successful day for the club and to showcase that Droylsden are back, and they're back with vengeance, ready to go back up the leagues again.
Well, it's been great talking to you. We know you're busy on this ground hop day.
Not a problem.
Brenden Johns, absolutely smashing.
Nice one.
Keep up the good work.
Cheers.
And, great result today, hopefully.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh, when the Bloods go marching in, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the Bloods go marching in. Oh, when the Bloods go marching in. Oh, when the Bloods go marching in, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the Bloods go marching in. Oh, when the Bloods